Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I'm a little bit early. Look at that. Look at me getting all organised. And yay. Hopefully we can get all the gadgets doing what they need to do. And yes, we are live. And tonight I'm going to share with you the Homemade Sweetness Sweet. Oh, that's a lot of sounds, but that's okay. Reference number 167481. And as you can see, it has this adorable paper with jars of jam and marmalade. And look at the little bear with the honey in it. This is a stamp set with a jar. You're the sweetest. Love you very much. Homemade for you. Thank you. And there are berries and strawberries and blueberries and the heart. Super, super cute. And then you can see there is a coordinating die cut set, which is this set, which is so cool because it makes a jar shaped card. And I'm going to show you two ways where we've used that tonight. And then you've got the string to go around the top of the jar. And then here is the frilly fabric that you would put on a jar of homemade preserves. This is a slice, so it means that you can stamp the jar and then use this line to cut into the top of it so that you can then put the spoon handle into it so it looks like there's a spoon in the jar, right? And then you've got different labels and tags for the words, you know, thank you, homemade for you, etc. Super cute to decorate your own homemade preserves if you're giving them away. You've got a couple of little flowers, and again there are the berry dies as well. Now also part of this suite, and again I'm using some paper that I've used with this, is this new Ladybug Picnic, and I'm going to hold it up because I'm hoping you can see the pattern. You've got all these tiny little ladybugs all over it, and then dotted around it are all of the flowers as well. It's a smaller die that you can see, and then if I just lift up this piece of paper here, you can see, I'm hoping, the texture of the flowers and the ladybugs. And the ladybugs, I love this set because the ladybugs are actually a higher in 3D relief than the little flowers are. So they're all embossed, but the ladybugs are a deeper impression than the little flowers. And again, you can use it that side if you prefer. So you can use the debossed side as well as the embossed side. Okay, this also comes with gems. So here are your gems. So you've got little strawberry slush coloured dots, and then you've got the misty moonlight dots, and then you have all of these little strawberries, which at first glance looked like green-headed ladybugs, which is what I thought they were. And then I'm like, oh, they're not ladybugs, they're strawberries. But there you go. Old ages. I so need new glasses. It's not even funny. All right, and then ribbon. And as you can see, I've used almost all of my ribbon. I've been making swaps because I'm in California next week, and so I've used this ribbon on the swap. So this is all I have left from my entire spool after making my 2 layouts and a card tonight and then 20 cards. So yes, it's been a busy few days for me, and it's Misty Moonlight 167480 is the ribbon number if you like that ribbon. But it comes as part of this suite. You know that it's discounted, and then when you purchase it and you've opted in, you will earn back $9.60 in stamping rewards towards your next order. So super cool. All right, so let me show you very quickly the 2 layouts I made, and then we're going to get on with the card just because I don't want to be here all night. So you can see where I used the Wink of Stella on the Oh So Sweet, and I use the Alphabet a la Mode dies to cut my words. You know that I've used this before on my layouts because it's such a cool one. And then again I did another one, You're the Sweetest, and then here's that jam jar, and then it opens up and up for the journaling, so you've got some additional journaling on that as well. All right, so you know that when you purchase the paper and the items to make these layouts, I will send you my cutting guide and instruction guide for free. Yay! All right, so let's get on with the card, because I've tried to use, I'm going to bring these back here so that you can see them and I can reference them, and then you can see what I've done. All right, hold on, we're getting there. All right, so this is the stamp set, and I've already gone ahead and I've stamped up my jar ahead of time, and I'm going to give you some paper piece sizes, and I'm going to give you what I did. All right, so my first piece is my base, and this is 6 inches by 5.5, so 5.5 inches tall. And let me just slide this across so I'm on the edge of my mat so you can see my measurements, because that will make it easier for you. So 5.5 inches tall by 6 inches wide. If you are new to me, I would love it if you will go ahead and make sure that you like this video and that you share this video on your personal site. And if you follow me as well, I do try and send invites for you to follow this page, so I would love it if you do. As always, if it's your first time and you don't know, make sure you have a pen and a piece of paper at the beginning of my tutorial, because I'll try and give you all the paper piece sizes so that you can recreate this if you wish to. Okay, so 5.5 by 6 inches wide, and it is scored at 1 3/4. All right, or 1 3/4, 1.75. So for my Japanese ladies, Goten go, kokero, roku inches, score, ichiten, nanago, dozo, arigato. Okay, so when you fold it, it becomes a standard card size. All right, so that is my card base. All right, this piece of cardstock is 5.25. No, that is not the piece. That is a square, that is a scrap piece that I cut off. This is the piece I need, and it is 5.25. So Goten ni go dozo by 1.5 by 1.5. Ichiten go dozo. And if I hold it up, I'm really hoping that you can see, I took my Wink of Stella, okay, and then I just painted over the ladybugs. Now this ladybug, as you can see, is a whole ladybug. This ladybug has its wings open, so I only painted over the wings on the ladybugs. I didn't paint their little butts. All right, so I'm not sure that you can see that. All right, I have cut a piece of ribbon. It really catches the light down here, but you probably can't see that. My first piece of ribbon is approximately 6.5 inches long. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, now I don't usually like to use my my tape runner because I don't want to flatten any of that embossing, but I am on this case. And we are just going to wrap that ribbon. Oops. Now, as you can see on my, well, you will do in a minute when I just get this situated. There we go. You will see that I have scissor distressed the edges of all of my paper ahead of time. So here is the trick when you are going to scissor distress anything that's been embossed. Do your scissor distressing first and then run it through your embossing folder, because if, like here, you've got partial images, when you try to scissor distress them, those pieces of areas of cardstock are much weaker because you have just embossed it, so you stretch those fibers, and the last thing you want is for it to tear on those images. Okay, so there is my little piece down. So this is 1.5 by 5.25, because this piece is 1 3/4 by 5.5. Does that make sense? Give me some thumbs up. Oh, wait, I need to see some comments. Let me see if I can get my comments going. And it's a hard no from me, Bob. Come on. No, the Facebook is apparently not. Oh, there we go. Fiona's with us, and Wendy, and Pamela, and Kristen. Yay! Did I say I'm going to California? Yes, I am. I'm going to On Stage, which is what we used to refer to as convention. So I will be in California. I'm actually going to stay on the Queen Mary boat. How cool is that? Okay, I took a piece of this paper. It's got the little red hearts on one side, and then it has spoons on the other, and I absolutely love these spoons. This piece is 4 inches wide by 5.25. So I will be on stage, at the On Stage event rather, in California, Long Beach, California, next week. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to staying on the Queen Mary. How cool is that? All right. Okay, cute little card already. Now, here comes the fun bit. I cut out, using that die, which is here, the jar shape. How fun is that? And you know that I use that on my scrapbook layout, yes, when I hid the journaling. Well, I thought it'd be kind of fun to put it on a card as well. I know I'm going to sneeze, so excuse me if I do. I also went ahead and I cut that same shape, but I just cut out half of it in the paper that is the jam jars on one side, and then it is the lined paper on the other. And I'm actually going to put it on the inside of my card. And that way, here's my journaling, right, for the inside of my card. And I'm actually going to use some liquid adhesive for this. This one is nearly empty, so bear with me if I have to bang it on the table. No, and I'm going to keep it pretty close to the edge. I love this adhesive. You know, this is one of my go-to adhesives. All right, because it gives you some wiggle room to line it up. So when I cut this out, I actually did then go back in and I trimmed it just a little extra off the hinge because I knew that this piece needed to fold across. Okay. Now, because it slid, I told you that we got some wiggle room with this. I'm going to give it a second, and I am actually going to trim it just along this edge. So you know that whenever anything is slightly too big, you can just turn it over and use your base as the guide for your trimming. Yes? Okay, and I'm only going to trim it on that side. There we go. So because I want to scissor distress it, you know I'm going to come back in and just scuff up those edges. All right. This piece is actually going to go on here like this. Okay. Now, I did the same thing and I did it in the same Misty Moonlight cardstock. So this time I cut out one of them and again trimmed it along that edge, and I've already gone in and I've scissor distressed it, and I stamped on it using this stamp here. I just went ahead and did it just because it was just quicker and easier to do that. And again, I'm just going to add a little bit of the liquid adhesive. This is such a fun paper. It is perfect for any baking. It doesn't have to be jam making. It could be pie making. It could be jam making. It could be Christmas. It could be a birthday. It could be any celebration where you're in the kitchen with, you know, grandma or, you know, somebody's aunt, whatever is teaching you a heritage recipe. How fun is this? I know my sweet friend Wendy creates cookbooks and has done over the years, and so this would be perfect for her. All right, so I'm going to stick this down. I'm actually going to use this just for speed. I'll just use my tape runner. Now, you know, sometimes you want to use a paper, or you want to use a specific cardstock and you don't have much left, but you really, really want to use it, right? So I'm going to show you a tip and a trick that I did. So I had a little bit of this paper left with the ladybugs on it. It is so cute. And again, it coordinates with this embossing folder. Okay, so as you can see, I cut it through my paper, but I didn't have enough because my paper wasn't quite wide enough. So this edge is perfect, but this edge is not. All right, so I cut it twice. Okay, and so this time I cut it and the bottom edge was perfect, but the top edge was not. So what I'm going to do is I cut away, as you can see, if I turn this around. So then this was the second piece. So you can see the bottom edge is perfect, but the top edge was not. So because this, when you cut this piece, it almost perforates it along this line, I just took my scissors and I just carefully snipped along that line here between the two sections. Please give me some thumbs up if this makes sense, because now I'm going to paper piece it. I'm going to lay the bottom half, which is the good bit, over this piece, because the top half is the big piece, and that will give me a piece that is complete and is the right size. Does that make sense? Give me some thumbs up, give me some smiley faces, give me some hearts if that makes sense, because if it does, that means that your brain is as crazy as mine, and you're welcome. All right? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little bit of adhesive, and I'm going to use the liquid adhesive because, again, it means that I can wiggle it around and make sure it's layered, it is lined up completely. So if that makes sense, give me some loving. So now I have a jam jar fabric that is the right size, and you can see where that straight edge is, and it doesn't matter that this piece is here. All right, so we're going to stick that to the top of my jam jar like so, and that will hide any areas of this that I don't want to see. Right, so we're just going to add a little bit of adhesive there. So that's a really good trick if you have an image like this that just is just that, you know, the paper just doesn't quite line up. Okay, so now I have my lid on my jam jar. How stinking cute is that? Well, it will be if it's straight, right? Now mine is going to overlap my card just a whisker, but I'm not worried about it. Okay, there we go. Let's just press that on. Now I've got it right. Okay, now I've already gone ahead and cut out all of my pieces. I do want some words on this, and we're going to use strawberry slush, I think, because that's the colour of the berries. And I have my stamp here already, and it says, "Love you very much." Okay, so we're just going to ink that up. Love you very much. Love you very much. How cute is that? How stinking cute is that? Right? And I think I'll throw that away, that piece now. There's also this cute little scroll in here as well. So let me put that one back. And let me just peel up this one. And again, we'll do the Michael Jackson moonwalk. So peel it off. Don't just take one end and pull it. It's not bubble gum. Okay, now the fun thing about this is I am going to, I'm actually going to take it and I'm going to curve it slightly. So let me see what that looks like. Do we like it? Yes, actually we do. All right, so let's put this one away. And as soon as I take it off the block, it will pop back up to being, and I'm going to use Secret Sea. Yes, that is Secret Sea ink on the Misty Moonlight cardstock. And then, oh, it reminds me of a moustache. How cute is this? You could do moustache layouts with this stamp. Don't you think it looks like a moustache? I must ask you a question. Moustache you a question. Yes, thank you, dog. You can go, thank you. One small hound coming to see what I'm doing. All right, and then we'll just pop that back on the sheet. Now I've cleaned it. Okay, that goes in there. And seeing as these stamps and dies now come in these envelopes, I actually put them both in the same envelope so that I know they're together. I think I've told you that already, but it just reminds you. All right, let's move that out of the way. I love that. Look how cute that is. Okay, so this piece will now tuck underneath that ribbon to keep it closed. Okay, and then we are going to use a smidge of, let me just cut that. We're going to use a smidge of 3D foam tape. I would usually use a glue dot, but I actually want it to pop up just slightly. So I'm putting a tiny amount of 3D foam tape on that bow. And we're going to put that directly onto the bottom of the bow. How's that? I love that. All right, let's stick this piece down. And we'll just use our tape runner and pop that. I love you very much. And then out of the paper, I cut out a stack of images, and I'm just going to pop them over here so that we'll see which ones we want to use. All right, so I've got strawberries, blackberries, there's a blueberry, I cut a little spoon out of the paper, and then the other things that I cut are these. So these are the dies. Let me just show them. It's the string that would go around a jar and then the little tiny knot as well. So I'm going to just open my card and just pop that out from behind the ribbon. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to add, oops. Okay. Yes, it's the nails. Okay. So let me find my tweezers, which I thought I had on here. And again, Sarah hasn't put anything away because Sarah's been working for hours, seemingly. Well, we're going to wing it. Let's make it work. All right, we're going to very carefully. Now, you know, usually that I would put the adhesive onto my silicone mat and then dip these pieces into it. But of course, I don't have my silicone mat to hand because, well, why would I? All right. All right, and then we are just going to put the string around, oops, it's stuck to my finger, string around the top of that jar. Oh my gosh, it's adorable. And then here we go with this little bow, and I'm gonna very carefully, these are so thin. And as I say, they keep sticking to my nails as well, which doesn't help. And we'll, oops, there we go. I'll just hold it down with my hand. That is so cute. All right, so let's decorate this. I know I want a red berry on here, and I know I want a blackberry on here as well. So we'll do a blackberry and a raspberry. We're going to put some 3D foam tape on them and pop them up. You know they're not just going to, yes, right, they're not going to be flat, you know that. Okay, here we come with the stamping dimensionals, and yes, we're going to be using both sizes. You betcha we'll be using both sizes. What did I just do with that? Strawberry. So where did I get the strawberries from? They came from the, I cut them out of the paper. I just switch it off with my arm. That's what usually happens. I usually get it caught up. Never mind, we can cut another piece out if we need to. The paper is super cute. It's got peaches and blueberries. I want that one lying down. And what I tend to do is, hang on a minute, I'll find an old envelope and then I'll put all the pieces in that I want. And of course I'm going to find that strawberry as soon as I start cutting this one out. But it doesn't matter because it just gives you an idea. Now there is a die in here that will fit this, but sometimes, you know, it's just, for me, it's just as easy to hand trim it. And you know that you you twist your paper, not your scissors, right? When you're cutting out. But you can see from this paper, you've got cherries, you've got blueberries, you've got the orange slices, there's peach pieces. Now, I think that these berries, these could be black raspberries or they can be lingonberries. Are they bayberries as well, depending on where you come from in the States? I'm never sure. We call them blackberries. Blackberry and apple pie is a British staple in the fall because the blackberries grow wild in the hedgerows. So there we go. Just as simple as that. It's as easy as it is. All right, we're going to just use one, oops, on there. So we'll have a strawberry and a blackberry. They're blackberries, not black raspberries. I'll do the strawberry there. Cute! Cute. And then I wanted to put some on the inside as well. That's why I did that. Okay. So we'll do these flat because obviously inside the card makes it a little bit whatever. I love this little spoon, but I just didn't know where to put it. Yeah, you see, I kind of like it along the bottom. Yes, I like it. Oh, yes, because you know where I'm going with this, don't you? If it's a spoon, it can be shiny. I've got to go find my Wink of Stella. I can see my Wink of Stella tonight. We don't need people to, well, I always need people to intervene and find it for me, right? I lose stuff regularly. You know this. If you've watched my videos on a weekly basis, you're like, uh-oh, here comes the Chaos Goblin. Oh, so stinking cute. All right, so here we come in with the Wink of Stella. So now I've got a shiny spoon, which will tie in with my little shiny ladybugs on my embossed piece. How cute is that? All right, so we need a little heart. Yes, I think we do. Okay, I'll grab another piece. I cut out 3 hearts just because I had some scrap paper left over, and so I might as well cut hearts out of it as throw it away. Okay, and we're going to Wink of Stella that as well. When in doubt, make it shiny. That is so stinking cute. I love that. All right, I think we're almost finished, so we can now tuck that back underneath the ribbon. Sweet! Do you love it? I think it's adorable. I really, really do. Now, you can say, well, Sarah, every time you open it, that little bit of paper bends up. Well, yeah, it does bend a little bit. Doesn't matter. But what you can do is you could actually move this seam so that it was level with the edge of this piece, and then it wouldn't bend when you opened it. But I don't mind about stuff like that. Some people do. Let's add just a few little gems in here, or little dots. And then let's finish this off, shall we? So let's add in a little dot there. And then, do we want a strawberry flavoured one? Yeah, why not? Why not? There we go. It does not... Oh, no, I need a blue one up there. Okay, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well... Oh, it needs to be there. Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. All right, 3 dots. Okay, so there is my little card. I hope you've had fun with the Chaos Goblin. Maybe I ought to just rename my site Sarah Batkin Chaos Goblin. Paper Crafting Chaos Goblin, right? And I'm sure I'm going to find somewhere to put these little hearts on. I hope you've learned some fun techniques tonight, especially this paper piecing a die. Most people don't think to do that. They might think of paper piecing a stamped image, but not necessarily a die cut. So that does that. And then, as I say, using that, if you didn't want to tuck it under the ribbon, you don't have to. You could just have it closed like that, and that ribbon would peep out from behind it. I actually like it tucked underneath. I think it makes a fun closure for it. And then that paper, that journal paper on the inside, again, makes it fun for you to write a little bit of a longer note, you know, your own handwritten images. I hope you like the layouts I showed you at the beginning. If you're only just joining me, go back and watch from the beginning, and remember, when you place an order for this product, I will ship you my cutting guide and instructions for free. So I will see you next Tuesday. Have a happy week wherever in the world you are watching from. Please stay safe if you are in areas of trouble. My heart goes out to everybody who is struggling right now, and I will see you for another hopefully fun and smile-inducing half hour on Tuesday next week, as long as I get all my packing done, right? Because I've got to be packed before I start going live. So Tuesday next week is going to be a busy one. All right, love you lots. Bye.